So now I'm going to walk through extensible hashing. This is the problem we're given, where this is the starting table. And I've copied it down here. And instead of including the bit counter, like 1 as a separate block, I'm just going to underline which bit we're looking at when we're assigning values. So we're first asked to insert 1100. So inserting 1100, we obviously have no room for that in our table. So with extensible hash tables, what you have to do when you don't have any room is you have to double the number of buckets. So I'm going to double the number of buckets. Okay. So I've made more buckets here, and then now these values, since we're only still counting the first digit here, the first bit, these are going to point to the same values. And then I'll do the same thing with these. So this is what you have when you first double the number of buckets. And then our goal was to insert 1100. So now what we need to do here is split this block so that you're now counting 2 bits instead of just 1. So now to split this block, and now looking at the first 2 bits, this 1101 is going to go here. I'm going to underline first 2 digits because that's what we're looking at now. And then next is 1000 and looking at 10, so and then our initial goal was to insert 1100, so that's going to go here. So now after this first insertion, we have these 2 blocks where you're only counting the first digit, and then these you're looking at the first 2 bits. So I've redrawn the result from the first insertion over here, and now our next goal is to insert 1110, and we would try to insert that here into this bucket, but this bucket is already full, so now we need to split our buckets, or not split, double the number of buckets. Alright, so now we went from 4 buckets to 8 buckets, and now I'm going to basically reassign these records. And since we're still only looking at the first bit, all 4 of these buckets will point to this same block. Okay, so copied those over. These all point to the same thing because we're only looking at the first bit. This one, we're looking at the first 2 bits, so for 1000, these 2 would point to that same record since we're only looking at 2. And same thing with these 2, where these 2 buckets would still point to the same block. Okay, so this is what you have just after doubling the number of buckets. Now, our goal again was to insert 1110, and that would go here. So now since this is full, you have to split this block so that now you're looking at 3 digits. Okay, so now after splitting this block, this is what we get. So everything up here is unaffected, but now when we're looking at 3 bits instead, this 110 bucket points to these 2 records. And then now inserting the 1110, all you're doing is adding that block. And you're again looking at the first 3 bits. And that's your final table.